Hello and welcome to the Hairdresser Strong Show. I'm your host, Robert Hughes, and today we're discussing pregnancy, maternity, motherhood, juggling business, all of the things that come along with having children as a hairstylist, whether you're a stylist or a business owner or both. Today we have Lisa Kennedy. Lisa, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lisa Kennedy. I am a salon suite owner from Austin, Texas, and I have three crazy boys. They are 8, 6, and 3 years old.
All right, awesome. That's cool. And let's take a look at them right now. Let's check out the picture.
Yep, it's rare to get all three of them in one picture at the same time. So they may or may not be looking at the camera. That's the best I can do, sorry.
Okay, great. So you have 3 children. Were you a hairstylist during all 3 pregnancies? And yeah, okay.
Yes. I had a different life before a hairstylist. I was a computer software consultant, and I actually knew when I changed my career path to become a hairstylist that the main perk was to have a flexible schedule, and I knew I wanted to have kids one day, so I knew that this would be a much better work-life blend being a hairstylist than it would be working for a corporation.
Cool. Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because for those of you who recognize Lisa, she did a couple of interviews. One of them was Salon versus Suite, and in that interview she said that the reason why she left booth renting and went into Salon Suite because she couldn't get a reduced rate for rent to work less days.
Go part-time, right?
Yeah, go part-time. So in order to have that work-life balance that you just mentioned, you went into the Salon Suite.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, why don't you tell us how it was for the first time, like where you were, give us a little context, etc.
Yes. So like I said, I have 3 kids, and for each pregnancy and maternity leave, it was completely different. And the first time around, I was trying to figure it all out and plan everything with my clientele and my business and the move. And then the second one and the third, finally figured out by the third one. So I'd love to share with you what I've learned each time with each child. So the first pregnancy, I was really concerned about my time, right? How much time I wanted to spend in the salon. I was still building up my clientele. I just moved to Austin, Texas, and I was spending, I don't know, 10, 11 hours at the salon waiting around for walk-ins. And I knew I didn't want to have that wasted time in the salon. So I thought, well, I would rather work part-time. So I asked my salon owner, and she said, no, I only rent the booth rental chairs full-time, not part-time. And I said, okay, well, this isn't going to work for me.
Can I ask you a question? Is this after you found out you're pregnant, or when you were thinking about getting pregnant?
No, after I was pregnant.
So you're pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
You're figuring okay, got it. You're figuring it all out. Okay.
And I just decided, okay, I'm going to find somewhere else that offers part-time, because I know I wanted to dedicate as much time as I could to this baby that's going to come change my life forever. So I found a salon suite that was actually a little bit less weekly rent than my booth rental chair. And I thought, okay, well, this is where I can move to and do my part-time. And what my mistake is that I decided, okay, the baby will be born in September, and I'll take 3 months off, and in those 3 months I won't pay any rent, and I'll just start in January. I actually took 4 months that first time. So I'll start fresh in January in my new salon suite, and all my clientele will follow me, and I'll email them maybe a week before to announce when I'm coming back, right? All of those, I'm sure you guys are going, what? Those were terrible decisions.
I'm like, wait a minute, you're going for 4 months and not telling anybody until a week before.
I know, right? Those were terrible decisions. But at the time I was like, no, I am dedicating this time to my child. And it's the firstborn child. So of course, no one else knows how to take care of this baby except for me. So I need to spend the most time with this little baby. And it was not the right thing to do. So I advise all of you out there, don't do that.
Okay.
So I did lose a lot of people.
Okay, yeah, that was what I wanted to
Right.
know. Yeah, okay. So you did lose a lot. You did notice a lot of people fell off.
And that's okay, because looking back, when I was at the hair salon, I was there till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And maybe those clients weren't the right clients for me. And so I decided, okay, let me define my perfect clientele and let me recruit those types of clients. So my perfect clientele are women who get color and haircut, and they can come during the hours that the daycare is open. And for me, that's 8 to 6 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that was it. Those were my boundaries I put out for me, because I wanted to take care of the baby Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that doesn't agree with all the clients, and that's okay. So I focused on those clients that could come during my time. And that worked out. I worked 3 days a week for 3 years, almost 3 years. And then when I was pregnant with my second child, I thought, okay, well, I will just tell everyone to go to other hairstylists that I know and tell them when I'm going to be back. And that worked. You know, that I did have a lot of people come back to me. It was very clearly defined of what my plan was. And they were excited for me to have the second baby, and they knew I would come back.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I did lose some people they were going physically to another building because my friends were elsewhere.
Okay.
And actually, I did move. I moved from my second salon suite to where I am today when I was 6 months pregnant. So I learned that you move before you have the baby, so the clients get used to going to the new place.
Okay.
And then they know where to come back. So that worked out. That was my lesson learned from the first one.
Okay.
And then for the third child, I knew I wanted to come back working 3 days a week. So the key thing I did was I booked my clients 3 months out. I said, I'm taking maternity for 3 months. Who wants to be my first person when I come back? Nice. So during those 3 months with my third child, I had job security coming back to the salon, knowing that I had my schedule already booked out. And yes, they had to change it around because it was so far in advance, but there were some people going, no. I have a hair appointment that I have had for 4 months with Lisa that I am not changing because she's finally back from maternity leave. I'm not missing this appointment. So that was a big lesson, was booking your clients for when you come back to maternity leave. And I think I only came back 2 or 3 days a week for a good 6 months, but that was my time I was going to allow away from the kids.
Cool. So I like this. So if you're going to be, since you're going to be out for a long period of time, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to just summarize some of this stuff from a strategy perspective. If you know you're going to be out and you're going to be out for an extended period of time, it's best to let the guests know and be booking them in advance to, basically stack your guests and be really busy before you leave. And then that way you can be busy when you get back. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
And I did hire I hired a stylist to come work in my salon suite for me 2 days a week, and I paid her a commission. So the clients who wanted to stay with me and trusted my recommendation, I had a hairstylist. She did my clients. She would call me and I would be nursing or whatever, and she'd say, now, what does this mean when your formula said this and this? And then I would explain to her. And then the client was confident because she just spoke to me and got my advice of her color. So I did actually hire someone. And so she worked for me 2 days a week, and then she rented my salon suite from me the other days. So she did her clientele. She was a stylist who was transitioning from a salon into salon suites, and she didn't have enough clientele to book 5 days. So she had enough to book her 3 days. And then when I came back after a year to full-time, so after the baby was born and after my maternity leave, we split the room. So
Okay.
she worked 3 days and I worked 3 days. And then my salon suite rent was half.
Nice. That's
Mhm.
very
So that was
entrepreneurial.
nice. And
I
then
like.
after, and then she kept asking me, when are you going to come back full time? When are you going to come back to full time? I go, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And so after a year, I said, you know what, I'm ready to start working more days. And then a salon suite opened up next door. So she actually moved to the salon suite next door and had her clientele built up. So it was a win-win for both of us, being able to cover my clients and build up her clientele. You
Yeah.
know what? Some clients stayed with her and that's just fine. There's more clients out there. It
Yeah.
doesn't make it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like, I go into the local schools and I talk to the students, and most of them are like 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. I would say 80% female. And one of the one of the things that comes up, and when we discuss, is, it's a very, these young people are spending, I don't know how much tuition is, like $20,000 now, and they have to go full time, so they're not working, and if they are working, they're working part time. So when they think about what's next after school, they're ready to start making money and making. And I also just ran a survey for Hairdresser Strong to get an idea of what people want. Making money was like
Mhm.
the largest consolidated response of must have. And so my big question is, what type of expectations someone could have going through this from a monetary perspective? It sounded like you were saying you lost a significant amount of guests the first time around when you didn't do your advanced planning. And it also kind of sounds like maybe each child you had, you lost less guests because of these moves you made. So let's assume that a listener is hearing you, and they just found out they're pregnant, or they find out they're pregnant, or whatever. And so they decide to start, letting their guests know and making their plan. And they take all your ideas and your advice. What type of financial impact should they expect based on your experience to have?
That's a very good question.
Like 20%, 50%?
It depends on how much time you're willing to work after the baby's born, right? So you're not going to work 5 days, 40 hours 3 months after the baby's born, or maybe you will, I don't know. But from my experience, I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
Because I didn't, when you say yes to one thing, you say no to something else. So I didn't want to say yes to my clients and no to my child. So I
Okay.
put up my boundaries of, okay, I'm going to work 3 days a week, 9 to 6, and that's
Okay.
it. So that's how I can calculate what I am capable of making during that time.
Right.
And it obviously was less than when I was working 5 or 6 days.
So you went from 5 days to 3 days a week. And so there's an obvious impact to your income. However, I'm curious, when you look at what your income is now compared to what it was before, were you able to make up the difference by being more efficient with your business and focusing on, KPIs like pre-bookings and retention and blah, blah, all
Yeah,
that?
I'm making more now than I ever did.
That's what I
4
want.
kids. Absolutely. I am working 5 days a week, 9 to 3:30. And because I have consolidated down my clientele to the ones I want, who pay for what I ask them to pay and come during the time I am available, I'm happier than I've ever been, because I have my 3:30 cutoff. Sometimes it goes over and I have to call my husband to pick up the kids, and that's fine, or someone else to pick up the kids. But that's my salon time, and I've maximized that from that. And then I have my family time.
Gotcha.
So there was a point, yes, where I was making less money, And that's okay, because in the long scheme of things, I knew that once the youngest was old enough to go to school, I get my freedom, my schedule back, to where if I want to choose to spend that time working at the salon, I can then rake in the cash.
Yeah.
But
So that's
it's during the, when it's a little bitty, that precious time when they're first born is worth more than any time at the salon, any money at the salon. And that's okay to have less money during that time. It's okay, because it's the quality time with the child is more important than that.
So basically, if someone's having apprehension about all this stuff, like the cost, the money situation, and how they're going to handle it, sounds like, since our industry isn't known for having benefits like maternity leave or anything like that, did you get any break from your suite for maternity leave?
Yeah, that's actually a good point you brought up. When I moved 6 months pregnant with the second one to a new Salon Suites, they offered 6 weeks free rent when you sign up.
Nice.
And so when I signed up, I said, no, I don't want my 6 weeks right now. Let's wait until July to take my 6 weeks. So I got 6 weeks maternity leave.
Wow, that's interesting.
Paid.
Was that like a promotion for the suites?
It was a promotion, and they still have it now. They say if you sign a year lease, you get 6 weeks free. And that is usually for painting the room, getting it decorated, and whatever you want to, or you can just move right in and get the 6 weeks free rent. So yeah, it's a plus. And there's a salon suite a few over from me that 3 women who are pregnant within the same year all share that room. So they probably each work 1 or 2 days a week, but they divide the rent by 3. And that's maybe, I don't know, $100 a week each. And then they get the room for a few hours when they want it.
That's interesting. So basically, if you're listening to this, then in my mind, how I understand what I'm hearing is there's actually a lot of different ways you can kind of work and move things around and finagle things. Making the decision to bring somebody in to take care of guests, that's brilliant, especially if you can find somebody who is in some sort of transitional phase, or maybe new in town, or maybe,
someone with an opposite schedule, right? Maybe you want to work Saturdays and Sundays only because you have childcare. And then you find someone who wants to work during the week, and you just share the space and split the bill.
Well, and then this whole promotion thing, like, thinking in the future, if you're going out on your own into a salon suite and they have some sort of promotion, I would have never crossed my mind. I would have been like 6 weeks, sweet. But if you're thinking about having children, or you want children one day, maybe saving that 6 weeks for later, that's like a little built-in maternity leave.
Right. And I think every 6 months you get a free week.
Oh.
So you can kind of rack them up.
Yeah.
For a while. Yeah. And I'm
Nice.
sure if you refer someone, you get a credit too. And there's all kinds of ways, we're very crafty, we're always looking for the deal. Yeah. And if you and a girlfriend or another stylist want to share a salon suite, and then you want to then take time off, so you have part-time already, there's always all different ways to do it. And I know there are some commission salons out there that do offer maternity leave. I know that Muse Salon in Atlanta, they offer maternity leave, but a lot of the salons, they offer unpaid extended maternity leave.
Yeah. It'd be nice to know that you have a chair when you go back. I guess that will make you feel good. But who knows what'll happen during pregnancy, and in the beginning, you might change your mind and decide you want to do what you did, go out on your own, or salons. But it sounds like thinking and planning in advance is probably the best bet, and thinking kind of outside the box a little bit, because I can imagine, like, having to move your suite or bring someone in, that's a pretty big, that can be sounds like it could be a big undertaking and a pretty stressful situation that people might not want to deal with when they're pregnant or dealing with all these life changes. But like hearing it in advance and being mentally prepared for that situation to come one day, it's pretty amazing what people can do under like a stressful situation, and how resilient people can be. Mm-hmm. So I love this story. This is awesome. I was not expecting so many different crafty ways. That's so awesome. I love that. All right. So if you had any advice for any of our viewers that were, say, pregnant or about to be, or trying to get pregnant, what would it be?
My advice to someone who is pregnant or about to be pregnant or freaking out that their child is due and what is going to happen with their clientele, I would say that, you know what? It's your baby and there are other hairstylists out there. So your clients will be fine. Take the time to be with your baby and enjoy that time, because you can always come back to the salon and see your clients again later. It's fine. Everything will be okay.
It sounds like you turned around and you weren't the same hairdresser when you were back after having a child and having to go through the process of building with the people depending on you and mouths to feed. It sounds like that might be a good chance to put on that entrepreneurial, crafty business hat and really kind of hone in on that. And I like how you said that you went through your clientele and you decided like what type of clientele you want, and you took it as an opportunity to kind of wipe the books clean, so to speak, and just fill them with what made sense for your life. And
well, to be clear, I do have my ride or die clients who have been with me for 8 years. I mean, they were the ones who supported me during all my breaks and my emotional times at the salon. And when I was so hot and dizzy, I had to lay down, they would take care of me. So I have my ride or dies that have been there for 9 years, right? So they've been with me through thick and thin.
Gotcha.
And then there's the others that just come and go. I think isn't there a statistic saying that it's the average time a client is with you is 2 years, right?
Oh, no, I didn't even hear that one.
Because of people moving and their life situations changing. And I feel like I heard that somewhere. But to have the clients who have been with you for years and years, I mean, that's special.
Yeah, that is.
And the ones who come with you for each price increase and each child you have, they stick with you.
Yeah,
they're very special people.
Yeah, they are. It's pretty amazing how awesome people can be. That's really awesome to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I hope that everybody got something from this. And would it be okay if someone had some questions, if they hit you up and asked you from your experience?
Yeah, go for it. I'm here. I'm happy to talk you through whatever decisions you're going through, and I can give you the best advice I can give, and you take that and switch it to your situation and then do what you need to do, because each person has their own unique situation.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. I think that's awesome. So I'll put your your handle in the caption, and someone can just DM you if you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And if you prefer email, you can shoot me an email and I'll make an introduction. listen@hairdresserstrong.com, or you can find it on the website. And that's all for today. So thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate your story. And I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was great.
Awesome. Take care.